My name is Jimmy Dundak. I'm the mining campaign coordinator for the Students for Free Tibet Canada. So first off, let me introduce the organization that I represent. So who are we, what do we do, and what is our approach? We are Students for Free Tibet Canada. We are a chapter-based network of young people and activists from around the world. And we work in solidarity with the Tibetan people in their struggle for freedom and independence. And our approach is that we believe that through education, grassroots organizing, and nonviolent direct action, we can campaign for the Tibetan people's fundamental right to political freedom. And below here I have our website listed, so if you want to note that down, you can find out additional information about who we are and what kind of work we do. So today I'm here to talk to you about our mining campaign. Essentially, the mining in Tibet has intensified in the past few years, and one of the reasons, this is one of the reasons why it's a big topic of concern today in Tibet. And in the past, China couldn't exploit Tibet's rich natural resources due to a lack of technology, due to a lack of capital and transportation facilities. And as a result, mining in Tibet was simply too expensive for China to engage in. And also China lacked political confidence to open Tibet to Western mining communities. Today, however, things have changed. There has been a recent railway line that has been connected from the heart of Tibet, Lhasa, to most of the major cities in China, including Beijing. So consequently, transportation of materials to Tibet and from Tibet is now very cheap and affordable for many mining companies. So in addition, China, as we know, is now a global economic power. So its confidence in dealing with overt Tibetan opposition has at an all-time high. And today, China actively seeks collaboration, or rather, to put it more accurately, they seek investment from Western companies to extract Tibet's gold, copper, and other precious materials. Essentially, China now wants to exploit the mineral resources of Tibet and other surrounding occupied regions, such as Xinjiang, which is the Chinese-occupied East Turkestan. And they wish to do this in order to meet their skyrocketing domestic demands. And in order to do this, they need to create an independent resource base, and the Tibetan Plateau is a key to this. So here I have the logo of the China National Gold Group Corporation. To give you some details on who they are one of the largest state-owned mining companies in China, and in 2008 they began construction on a mine project in Gyama, Tibet. Gyama, Tibet is located in the Meldro-Gumkar County of Lhasa municipality, and it was set to become one of the 8 priority construction projects in China to exploit Tibet's natural resources. Now below here I have China Gold International Resource Corporation's logo, and in 2009, CGI, or China Gold International, they're a Vancouver-based company, and they purchased 100% ownership of the Gyama mine from this organization, China National Gold Group Corporation. And I have a satellite image here of the Asian continent, and just to give you an idea of where exactly Gyama is. So I've marked it off with the yellow marker there, if you can see it. And so essentially here's India, China here, Tibet here, and Lhasa would be just a few miles west of Gyama. So now here's a satellite image of the CGI mine in Gyama, or at least on the outskirts of southeast of Gyama. So we can see that it's quite distinguishable. If you look at satellite image, you can see where exactly the mining facilities are, but because of the bright blue roofs. So just to give you an idea of the production capabilities of the mine, currently they have a daily output capacity of about 6,000 tons of copper, and they're projected in their completed phase to have a projected daily output capacity of about 50,000 tons. So this is just the mining facility here, but what you can see is the surrounding area where the mining is done in open pits. In the next image you might be able to see when it's zoomed out a bit more. And I'll just give you an idea of the investment, how much has been invested in this mining project. It's been reported that approximately 8 billion yuan have been invested into this mining facility, which is the equivalent of about $1.18 billion US. And Of course, most of this profit goes to the company, but the Chinese government makes 35% of the gross income from corporate tax, which is about the international average. And yeah, I'll go to the next slide. So this is a more zoomed out image. So what we saw before was this right here. This is just the CGI mine. And here is basically the villages that comprise of Yama. And I just wanted to show you this so you can get an idea of the relative proximity of Yama to the CGI mine. And if you look closely, you can see here the river called the Yama-Xingju River. And essentially this is where all the different villages are situated along, since they make their, the river feeds the grasslands in the region and allows for agriculture and the grazing of animals in the grasslands. So if you look at the CGI mine, prior to 2008, when it was constructed in 2008, this area was farmland and it belonged to farmers, nomadic people. But essentially what happened was that the Chinese government came in and seized the farmlands from the farmers, and nomads that depended on the area were forced into resettlement. So there's also a water pipeline that was built along farmlands that was also the pipeline, any of the land that the pipeline went over was seized from the farmers in the area with little or no compensation. So about the forced resettlement of nomads, basically nomads would be forced into these kind of ghetto-styled block houses. And this is not a case that's unique only to Yama. It's an injustice that's widespread throughout the Tibetan Plateau. Since 1999, more than 1 million Tibetan nomads have been settled into these kind of ghetto-style housing blocks. And it's been reported that the Chinese government, their plan is to relocate all of Tibet's 2.5 million nomads into these kind of ghetto houses. And that would mean that would be about 40% of Tibet's population, national population. Here's another image of the houses. So another indirect method that the Chinese government uses to force nomads into these resettlements is through unfair regulations. So, for example, the Chinese government will impose regulations on the amount of animals a herder, a nomadic family can have. So they might cap the nomadic family's herd at 100 yak or 100 sheep. And they'll come in, they'll tag each individual yak or sheep, and if any animal that goes over that cap is forcibly killed or sold off. So what happens is that this number is far below what is required to sustain a nomadic lifestyle. So over time, the nomadic family has no other choice but to choose resettlement to these resettlement camps. Another form of unfair regulation is containment. So here we can see just wiring for fencing that's the Chinese government puts up. So what happens is the Chinese government will assign plots of land to each nomadic family, and within that plot of land, that the nomadic family is allowed to graze their yak or sheep. But what this does is this takes away the number one thing that a nomad needs, because nomads, they're called nomads for a reason. They need to move from grassland to grassland depending on growing seasons, depending on weather factors, things like that. So what happens is when a particular nomad's land plot is afflicted by a drought or weather condition, his herd might die out completely, and then their livelihood is lost. And then they have no other choice but to resettle into these camps. Okay, so I just have a satellite image here of water diversion. Actually, maybe I'll just. How much time do you have? 0. So another side effect of the mine is a loss of an access to clean water. So the mining operation in Yama is reported to have led to the drying of spring waters and the poisoning of drinking water and destruction of flora and fauna in the region. So in order to understand how the water is polluted, you have to understand how the copper ore is mined. So essentially the copper ore is found in conjunction, when they go to extract the copper ore, it's found in conjunction with an arsenic-laden pyrite. And in order to extract that ore, both the ore and the pyrite have to be grinded down into a dust. After this has been done, then they wash over the ore with an acidic mixture consisting of arsenic and cyanide. And after this process, the water from the river is used to wash down the acidic mixture. And of course, this process is never completely safe, nor is it ever completely successful. And what happens is the portion of the copper ore and also the acidic mixture seeps down into the groundwater and gets into the local population's drinking water.
Okay, sorry, we have to stop you.
This is the last one. This is the last. Okay. So basically, to sum up what the Gyalma people want, the Tibetan people in Gyalma want is what they're asking for is an end to current mining operations and a cleanup of the land. They believe that Tibetans should be allowed to freely determine how their natural resources are used, and as long as they are denied this right, Canadian companies should not and cannot responsibly mine in Tibet. So our organization, Students for Free Tibet, our desires and our aim is in response to the people in Gyalma, and we basically are campaigning for a moratorium on all mining operations in Tibet until Tibetans are in a position to give their free, prior, and informed consent over any proposed development before it commences operation. And that we realize that under Chinese occupation that this is impossible. So we believe that the only responsible mining that can occur in Tibet should be done under consultation on a short-term and long-term basis with the Tibetan government in exile, and Tibetan government in exile because we believe they are the legitimate representative of the Tibetan people. And in addition, we believe that any mining in Tibet should be done in consideration of the maintenance of environmental, social, and the cultural integrity of the area affected by the mine on a both short-term and long-term basis. And if you want any additional information on our mining campaign, please note down this site here, stopmining.org. And again, I have my, okay, I guess it's not. But SFT Canada if you want more information on our organization. Thank you.